Hey guys, welcome back to another fall DIY on my channel. This one was very inspired by pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice lattes. As you can see, I saw this little sign at the Dollar Tree, and for some reason it reminded me of those little press for champagne signs. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transform it into the pumpkin spice latte sign that you just saw. So I'm just going to flip the sign over and remove all the hardware. I am going to save this little black piece because that's going to act as our doorbell. And I'm just going to use the chalk paint Waverly in the color Ivory and give it 2 coats. I did go in with some spackling and fill in these little holes where the screws were, but I'm just going to smooth that down and then give it 2 coats of paint. So to give it that faux distressed look, I'm using the color Truffle and Hazelnut, and I'm just going to mix them together until I get the brown that I want. And I'm using a Dollar Tree brush. I like this brush a lot because it's really coarse and it's really good for dry brushing. So I'm just going to mix those together, offload it onto a paper towel, and then dry brush it onto my piece. Everybody knows how to dry brush. So while that was drying, I went on an app and made this little sign that says press for pumpkin spice lattes, and I'm going to cut out the whole thing. Rather than just cutting out the words like I would usually do, I'm going to cut out enough to Mod Podge the whole entire sheet over the sign. So once I got it laid down in the right position, I'm just using my finger to smooth out any bubbles and wrinkles the best I can. And then I'm sort of pressing the excess tissue paper around the edges, and I'm just going to peel it off and then use another layer of Mod Podge on top and around the edges to sink it into place. So once that's all dried, I took my little fake doorbell and I'm going to add some hot glue to the back of it and stick it right in the center. And then I made a little bow as well to stick at the top using some lace and Dollar Tree twine, and that completes the sign. So to go with the sign, I thought it would be really cute to make a fake pumpkin spice latte like you would make a fake cake. So I grabbed this cute little glass from the Dollar Tree. I'm using the Hazelnut color by Waverly to make it that coffee color. And then I picked up some ground cinnamon at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using the spackling I have on hand, but Dollar Tree does carry small tubs of spackling. So I added in a little bit of the paint as well as about a bottle cap full of water. You don't want to add too much water because it can get really runny. But I'm just going to mix that together till I get the color and consistency that I want. And then I'm going to start packing it into my glass. So there's really not much skill to this part. I'm just taking a spatula and packing it into the glass, covering up mainly only the sides. I'm just making sure there's no holes or cracks. So I'm just using a Q-tip, and then I eventually just used my hand to clean up the edges to kind of create like as smooth of a line as I could on top so it looks like an actual beverage. And then I just balled up a piece of foil big enough to sit right in the center so I didn't have to fill it up with a bunch of spackling. This is just gonna fill in that space and then act as support for our fake whipped cream. So for the whipped cream, I'm going to do the same method, add a bunch of spackling into a little tub here, and I'm adding some white acrylic paint because spackling has like a light gray tint to it, but I'm just going to mix that in as well as a bottle cap of water until I get it the right texture, load it into my icing gun, and add it on top. And now for the fun part, I'm going to take the ground cinnamon and just sprinkle a ton of it on top to make it look realistic, and then we are done with our pumpkin spice latte. So for this last DIY, I saw this adorable pumpkin on Hobby Lobby or Kirkland's, I think, and it was like a pumpkin spice recipe, but then I saw the price and I thought, not today, Satan, we're gonna make this ourselves. I was planning on using the styrofoam pumpkins that Dollar Tree carries, but none of mine had them in stock yet, so I found this one at the Goodwill for $2.99. Sorry, sue me, but I'm just gonna give it a decent coat of this spray paint because we don't have time for orange hair in this house. So for the stem, I used the colors Mineral and Hazelnut to paint that, and then while everything was drying, I went ahead and did my best at making a replica of what I saw on the pumpkin online. So I just cut my image out of the tissue paper and I actually cut it in half to make make it easier to apply it since this pumpkin is so round. But I'm just going to do a thin layer of Mod Podge, then very carefully apply the tissue paper and use tapping motions because it will rip. So to finish off this pumpkin, I just made another one of those ribbons and twine bows from the Dollar Tree that I used in the sign in the beginning, just so everything could be sort of matching. And then that's all. This is how everything turned out. All of these little pumpkins are also from the Dollar Tree. I just used my Waverly paints to give them a makeover. I'll list those down below in case you're interested in the colors I used. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next one.